But also you have to realize, and I mean, we're all grown here. Everybody has their brand of something. It depends on what you purchase. Just like I said at the gate, depending on the extract, there's some that are good. In the store you buy what, McCormick? McCormick is probably the most known brand. It is expensive. I think $5.99 for a bottle. Right, you get what you ask for. Absolutely, you get what you ask for. So, I'd be the first one to say to you, if you got the time, make yourself. Just like with olive oil. If you guys are into olive oil, make yourself some garlic olive oil. Get yourself a cheap brand of olive oil, take it home, roast off some garlic. Get yourself a nice, decanter to put it in. Drop it in there and you let it sit. People come over and, hey, what's that? Oh, that's my secret olive oil or whatever. That's how, I'm telling you, you'd be surprised. That's how a lot of things are invented. That's how a lot of stuff is invented.
Alright, but like taking that raspberry right there, sticking it in a bottle of water, that's going to make that.
Yeah, that's the ferment. That's good.
Alright, I just want to make sure. It has to be dry.
No, it doesn't have to be dry. Now, at the same token, okay, don't take a whole pint of raspberries and drop it into a bottle of vodka. It only tastes, think about if you ever tasted extracts like this taste to them, they're strong, okay? But it's the fermentation time. It takes time for it to ferment. So, you drop it in there, you drop a couple of berries into, let's say, a pint of alcohol. You let it sit for, I don't know, I'd probably let it sit for about 25, 30 days. Strain it out, and then, you taste it to see what you have. A lot of times now, if you're a consumer of these flavored vodkas or whatever, it's not like it's some strong flavor that you taste right away. They let it ferment. It's only a small amount of fruit compared to a vat of alcohol. It's just to get a trace of it. In our world, we want something a little stronger, so we let it sit and ferment longer, and that's what it is. Okay.
Okay, but if I want a raspberry flavor, extract.
You want it strong?
Yeah.
If you want it strong, then yeah, you can buy a pint of raspberries, drop it into a quart of alcohol, clear alcohol. I'd probably do a clear alcohol like vodka. You could probably even get away with gin and just let it sit. You come back, you check on it. You taste it every couple of days, see what you taste. After 2 weeks, you might like what you taste. Strain it off, put it into your own little bottle, put your own little label on it. All right, so with the sherbet, what I like to, if anybody's a sherbet consumer, this without a doubt is an American thing that we took from sorbet. Go.
How are you pronouncing it?
Sherbet.
Sherbet.
Is there a different pronunciation?
Sherbet.
Sherbet.
That's what it is. Sherbet. That's why I said sherbet.
What?
Sherbet. Don't you sell it in sherbet? They do. I don't know money to all of it. Not sherbet.
Sherbet. Sherbet. But it kind of gives you some insight as to where it came from. This is the part a lot of times that people don't realize. The egg and the dairy that's in it. Alright? So basically, if you take this recipe right here, add a little bit of milk to it, alright? Which, you're not talking a lot. It changes the consistency of it. But sometimes what people don't realize, on the tail end of spinning this product, egg whites are poured into the machine at the very end. Alright? So it does have an egg product in it. And a lot of times, if you're not aware of that, and you have an allergen, you will have some kind of reaction to the product. Okay? So I always like to make sure that everybody's aware of that, and at the same time, you need to spread that around and let people know. that there is an egg product in this, and it's added in on the tail end, okay? It's not cooked out, it is not done, nothing is done to it. It's put into the machine basically pretty raw, okay? Just so you know. Yeah. Gelato, pretty good, very good. Gelato. So what I always like to say with this, I'm going to say this is straight heavy cream, and I'll even say heavy cream times 2, and then I'll say the yolk is generally times 3 to 4. Gelato is very good. But I want to say somebody recently started making it. Who is it? You saw it too. Yeah. It's now being offered more in the United States in stores. There was a time when gelato was put out on the market and people didn't buy it because they didn't like the texture of it. It's very heavy. It's heavier service. Who are my service people? You. When you all were across seas, did you ever eat French ice cream? French ice cream is heavy. Gelato is 2-3 times heavier.
In Germany, you know how in America, if you get ice cream, you're going to get about 1 ice cream.
Yeah.
In Germany, you get that ice cream.
Right. It's a heavier product, and I want to say, I'll do you one better. After gelato, have you ever heard of spumoni?
Yeah.
Spumoni, I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say spumoni is a little bit more dense than gelato. So a lot of times when you have this stuff, you're talking about a small portion, yeah, it is. It's a smaller portion. It's much more dense, and on top of that, it's even more rich. So, you know, what we like as a chocolate flavor, they add even more to it than what we know. You know, there's no such thing, you know, a lot of times here, what do we have? We've got ingredient labels that regulate how much we can put in something. You get across the water, there's no regulation on what you can put in anything. So a lot of times that's where these new wonderful ideas come from that they create. You know, gelato, oh, well, you know, and I told you, everybody wants to be, nobody's the same. If you have been overseas, the French don't want to be like the Italians don't want to be like the Germans don't want to be like the Swiss. You know, I went to school in all 4 countries, and I had to learn something different every single time because I couldn't use what I learned the last time this time. Everybody wants to be different. That's why you have, you know, look at, you know, yolks. You look at how much cholesterol you got right here in a scoop of ice cream because of the amount of egg yolks. Boom. So a lot of times those are the factors you got to look at. Okay. But you know, I'll show you something with the sorbet, which is syrup. All right. I'll give you a breather. Come back. Big hand on the 3.